Alright, we are back with another video, 2K21. We're going to be doing the Stockton 28 assist challenge. As you can see, I've also done this one already. It's not a very hard challenge, you just need to get 10 assists with any player. So in this game, I actually chose to go a little bit more fun, just because the lineup you're going up against is pretty hard, and I just wanted to use some of the new cards that are part of the idols. Yeah. The Chinese New Year cards. Seems like this week for limited is going to be pretty easy. You may only use ruby and gold player cards, which is pretty good because I have a lot of ruby cards that I like using. So for this one, we're going to be using Rajon Rondo and John Stockton for our assisters, and we chose Amethyst just because Jared Sullinger and Ale Harrington are both Amethyst. So alright, we'll just run 2 more, and then the bench we ran all rubies. I mean, we could just run a higher bench, but it won't be that bad. Pay for the 40 contracts for the bronze. We're going to make it easily back. So, this challenge, I'm going to have to warn you, is a little difficult in the beginning, but if you stick with it and really try to push the envelope for scoring, it's not that hard of a challenge. Almost Kobe White. Oh, I need to look at how much that Kobe White's going for. Because there were those new cards. So I got a comment that said, I hope I run against you in 2K. If you run against me in 2K online, which it's most likely going to be in the limited, tell me in the comments you ran against me. Tell me if you beat me or not. Because I'm not gonna lie, I don't lose a lot in limited. I don't lose a lot. It's like I don't want to make it sound like, oh, I'm super great at the game. I normally win about 80% of my games, and that's only because it's like I'll play 5 games in an hour, and you're probably thinking, wow, they're like at least 20-minute games. Yeah, normally people play the first quarter on rage, but let's just start it out good. Play bay. We wasted a lot of time for that assist. So the goal isn't to score like 10, because we're going to get 10 easily. The goal is to see, can Rondo or Stockton get more assists? I'm going to say, just off rip, it's probably going to be Stockton, just because I'm very bad at making the players play even minutes, and I don't make them play whole quarters. Let's see, Harrington, dunk it. Come on, big boy.
That's simply an outstanding play, working the size mismatch right at the rim.
Darn. I am very bad at making man versus man happen. And I'm often pulling cards out of who they're supposed to be guarding. So there's a lot of good cards that you're going against right now. So Stockton can shoot 3, so you can't leave him open. Malone can't. I don't think he can shoot 3s, but he'll often drive or shoot mids. And he's pretty accurate with his shots too.
Here's Quarters. That one rolling around and rims out. It's been a slow start here for Utah. It's a 5-point game. Griffith can't get it to go.
Let's see, Harrington.
For the game thus far, 0 of 4 here.
Dang, this Harrington for their first card. Not just because he's a mixed card, but because he feels quick and gets easy blow bys. That's a blow by on a pink diamond. And he's an amethyst. Do I think he'd make my lineups that I run for unlimited? Not really, because I don't play unlimited very much. Not gonna lie, if this Rust card or the next card after him isn't at least a god, I'm not going for these limited cards anymore. Like, they're not hard. It's just sometimes it takes 8-10 wins, not games, which will end up being about 15 games. And it's not that I'm losing 30% of my games. It's that sometimes my games just lag after a win where it doesn't count. Like, I'll go, if I get too many rage quits in a row, so I'll talk to you guys during the highlights, and then I'll talk to you at the end of the game. We will be doing, I don't know if we're going to do a review. We'll do a semi-review on Stockton, and then on the 2 other new idol Chinese New Year's card. Not Chinese, Asian. I think it is Chinese New Year. So I'll talk to you then. Alright, we got 3 cards. We need to John Stockton, Ale Harrington, and
a surefire way.
Not the biggest guy, but he finds a way to get the job done.
Yeah, and Sullivan. So, John Stockton is a really good card. He can pass very well. His dribbles are alright. As long as you're not trying to drive, you can move the ball pretty well. It's once I try to get to the hoop, I rarely ever get the animation to throw blow by. Normally I'm stuck on whoever's guarding me, and I'm not going anywhere. Now, we might as well talk about Sullivan now. Sullivan is a really good card. He's a very good defender. He can slash. It's weird. He gets blocks. He's a good rebounder. His dunk team's pretty good. I don't know if I've gotten any like super specific like him post risers, but they're pretty good. He's a pretty good card. Now, last card we need to talk about is that Al Harrington. Now, I didn't think I was going to like Al Harrington, but Al Harrington is actually a really good card. I think out of the three, I like him the most. Now, John Stockton's not a part of the same grouping, but he is good. He can hit threes, he can slash, he can play good defense. Whatever you need him to do, he's doing. Now, for all these cards, John Stockton was going for like 5K. No matter what, I'd recommend a card for 5K. Do I think he's good enough to really carry your team? Depends. Depends. If you can get used to playing him, yeah, you can probably
This is what you can do. It makes it easy to get
now,
to the rim.
would I recommend Sullivan? Sullivan is going for like 5K. I would recommend him to the fullest. That card is a really good card. The last card is Al Harrington. Do I recommend him? Because I recommend him as much as I recommend the Sullivan card. Those two cards are fun to play with, and if you're running them at 4 and 5, you're going to be good defensively. Like, they're really good defensive cards. If you can get any of these three cards I reviewed today for 5K, they're worth it every way. Because that's 15K for three really good cards. Good enough that if you're new to the game, they're all good enough to be starters. For their price. You might be able to get somebody cheaper, a little bit better, but that's what I recommend. So this game was weird. The first time I played it was really hard because they would stick to my score. Like if I scored 2, they'd score 2. If I scored 3, they scored 2. And then I'd score 2 and they'd score 3. Like we were always tied or it was close. And in this game, I shot out to an early, what was it, 5-0, 7-0 lead. So I didn't have them with that stick. Like it wasn't as close as it was previously. It was weird because in the beginning of the game, I would just kick it to whoever and they'd just shoot a 3. So it'd be easy. All right, take the lead. Very easy. Miller went like 4 for 4. I don't think I have made a 3 since.
Well, you know, that's exactly their plan here in the fourth. Work to find space behind the arc, and then bury some threes.
It's good from long range.
Like this lineup, it's extremely leveled at what everybody scored except for Harris. Harris is the one card that doesn't have above 10, not counting Rondo.
Stockton passes to Malone.
Because this was fun. It was a little bit easier the second time through. A little bit. Getting the assist was kind of hard.
It's rebounded by New York.
And it wasn't because they were reading what I was doing or even stopping me. It was that we would start missing stuff like that, which was kind of annoying, but I don't think Stockton or Rondo got over 20 assists. I think they fell short.
One thing we've seen,
I mean, obviously we have 2 minutes left, but I don't think in 2 minutes we're going to knock out. I mean, in 30 seconds we're going to knock out 2 more assists. Possible. It's not possible.
Really a smooth stroke from
We'd have to get a steal here, or they need to score quick.
And I tell you what, he makes it look easier than it really is.
It's too late. We're not getting 2 assists. And even if you leave them open, it doesn't matter because they waste like 4 seconds in a move.
Over Anderson, and he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2.
I get it's not on a high difficulty, so they play not very smart. But I mean, if you leave somebody wide open, they should just pull out.
No good.
I'm talking leave them, not like, oh, I'm baiting you. I want you to shoot.
And the jumper falls.
Yeah, so you got 19, I think.
And it's
Stockton
just
got 19.
competing.
We'll check it.
You know, giving your best when it matters most.
Yeah, you know, once they got victory in their view, a huge injection of energy and a great run to finish it off.
So no problem for New York as they get the win.
Not bad. So, let's look. Yep, tied for assists. And they both had 1 turnover, so we're going to count it as even. Fouls don't count, because sometimes I foul just to switch out the players. But if you're going for points responsible for, then Rondo won. But we're not going to. They both... Rondo played a little bit longer. That's surprising. Then if we go for points... Harrington at 21, Soldier at 12. We did pretty good. I don't know why I didn't score with Claymore. So that game was pretty easy. If you want to run a lineup, I would run a little bit better of a lineup, like an 88, 86 overall lineup. Because their lineup is pretty good. I mean, it says mine's a 93, but it's a 90. I don't know where they get their numbers from. So, if you're going to do this challenge, at least run some amethysts. Like I said, at least run like an 86, 87 lineup, which with an 87 lineup, you can run 3 diamonds and a bunch of amethysts. And I think you can also run a pink diamond. But just run a bunch of amethyst dynamic duos, because that way, I wouldn't run silver dynamic duos. You won't get very much from that. You have to run amethyst dynamic duos like that Shia, Fox, Holiday. I wouldn't run the Holidays just because this dynamic duo partner's not very good. Jaws isn't bad. John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins isn't bad. Whew. I don't remember what Jaren Jackson Jr. says. But that's what I would recommend. This wasn't a very hard game. We did win. If we would have tried, we could have gotten the 28 assist with Stockton, but I didn't want to run them all game. So, come back for the next videos. We will be doing the Aldridge and the Jack Sigma tomorrow. Hope you guys are enjoying the series. Peace.